Thank you, Joan. So well deserved. We have time for a few questions. We don't have much time to Archana and Erika. So please come up to the microphones if you would. And please keep them very brief so that we can hear more from our speakers. Yes.
My name is Gizeshwar. I came from Ethiopia. I have a specific question for the women entrepreneurs. I think it might be a difficult question, but I need proper answer. As a CEO of the company, I have a challenge. A challenge, we always fight for women empowerment for employee. What about women empowerment for the CEO, the managing directors? We are having a big, big challenge because the women's, whenever it's maternity leave, the CEO is suffering, the managing director. If we are empowering women professionally, what about the CEO and the managing directors? Because we are really suffering. So I don't know what kind of answer you'll have. Number two, I'm going to ask UN Global Compact. I came from Africa, East Africa. I'm sure most of you know Ethiopia. We are really interested to be a member. So many of them, they are interested, but as I see how many people can apply for the UN Global Compact, because the criteria is a little bit difficult. So I don't know how you are going to consider and to have more members from East Africa. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I think if you are the CEO or the managing director of your company, you are already empowered. After all, there are so many other people in the fray in the company. Why have they not reached that position? Anyway, having reached that position, saying that I have reached, I feel it is my duty, and I experience it, that I need to keep educating myself. I need to be a cut above the rest. And for that, it is my internal assessment, it is my internal education, it is my internal motto in life that I have to excel. If I have to lead, I have to lead by example. If I'm the managing director of my company, the people will follow me, or the women will follow me only if I am empowered. But they don't know how I'm empowering myself each day. So I guess it's a process of never-ending learning, for me at least. That's what I feel.
And I would add, I completely agree. I would add that there's two things that come to mind. One relates to effective corporate governance. Sometimes it's lonely being a CEO, you know. But when you have a board of directors, a truly dynamic, intelligent, supportive, constructive, interactive board of directors, you are not alone. And I will tell you that for the most of the existence of Cornerstone Capital, my board of directors was larger than our staff, because board governance, corporate governance is so incredibly important. When you talk about the environmental, social, and governance imperatives that are looked at in sustainable investment and finance, corporate governance, the G, is first among equals. And so when you have a great board, you are not alone. And then if you surround yourself by advisors and colleagues that will allow you to hold the mirror up constructively, you know, be conscious of your own weaknesses and strengths and what you don't know. You know, Socrates talked about wisdom. True wisdom comes from knowing how little you know, right? And so board governance, and I would do a shout out, Elizabeth Vasquez, the CEO of We Connect, I think is here. She was one of the first directors of Cornerstone. When you know you need thoughts about governance, when you need a board of directors as a CEO, I mean, their job is to kick my ass every day. I'm not managed, right? And if I shouldn't be the CEO of this company, then it is their job to find the optimal CEO. That's where you get an alignment. And we advise companies to aspire to be on this shareholder alignment frontier, where you truly think about all the stakeholders. So corporate governance is one answer. The other answer is reverse mentoring, all right? I have as much to learn from everyone in my system at the firm, outside the firm, as they might have to learn from me. So reverse mentoring is wonderful in terms of learning and progressing and innovating all the time. So.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead up, and we'll take these last few questions. My co-chair, Liz, Ursula.
My name is Fola.
Go ahead.
The Global Compact. And
The Global Compact, yes.
Yes.
So
I think in case there's any other companies who are not in the UN Global Compact or would like to be, please feel free and come to talk to us, and we'll be happy to tell you how to do it. Actually, the criteria is not so hard. A big part of it is the willingness and intention to support principles in areas like human rights, labor, environment, and anti-corruption. So it should be motherhood and apple pie, but of course the challenge is about the implementation, and there's so many wonderful examples available and guidance to help companies through that process. So please come and talk with us, and we'd really be happy to help you through that process. Thank you.
thank you. Why don't we take a question there, and then Liz, you can have the last question.
My name is Fola. I'm actually from Nigeria. This is actually my challenge. I've been in business for 23 years. Really rough, but thank God it's okay. I'm about to ask a question that I find it so difficult to handle, both for myself and for many women who come to me. Many women in business, and as the CEO, your spouse believes that you are in charge, and as such, every expense, everything comes upon you, and you find it so difficult to report quite a lot of things in your accounts. My question is this: to what extent should you, do we actually report certain expenditure heads that you don't feel comfortable with reporting? An example is most times you want to keep increasing your own remuneration to accommodate some excesses. You want to increase your allowances to actually accommodate a lot of things. But you discover that the more you increase those things, some other expenses, even outside your immediate home, will come on board. How do you handle that?
Thank you.
There's two words that I would think about for you that you need to find. There's no answer, by the way. There's no black and white. There's no perfect. But the two words I would think about for you are transparency and authenticity. Okay, both of them. Because there are some things that you may not feel you can give as much transparency as people would want on it, but it's because you are acting in the best interest of the company. All right? So the transparency, if it's paired with authenticity, if you say why when you won't give transparency that might be desired, that helps, right? So I think people always want to know the why. I mean, in New York City, you're stuck on the subway and it stops, like, why? I'll enjoy the ride better if I know why. At least I can come to terms with it. It's the same thing. So I would say combining those two and walking the line in the best interest of the company, where it is your legacy. You are a steward of this corporate legacy. I think that's the way, but there's no right or wrong. It's not black and white, it's gray.
Did she mention about her husband also?
I didn't hear that.
She mentioned.
Okay.
Okay. Well, the fact is, yes, your company, it is your company. But I feel if you are going to take your workers and your team as partners in your company, they may not be stakeholders, they are just employees. But if you want real productivity in your company, you have to take them as partners. As she said, transparency is very important. It all depends on how transparent one wants to be. But if you want to actually grow, and you want to grow from the micro to the small and small to the medium, transparency is very essential. So what if your employees know what you are earning, what is your profitability, what is it that you're spending on? Your accountant knows about it. And if you are a listed company, the world knows about it, okay? But what you're drawing for yourself is absolutely your own discretion. You have to feel if it's not bleeding your company. For instance, I will tell you, when I started Haylide Chemicals the third time around, I did not even draw 3,000 rupees. My son got married and he joined me 3,000 rupees is something like what? About something like $30, $50 a month, because there was no money in the company. My husband supported that, the expenses of the house. But today we are earning, today we are there, so we can draw, we can do what we want to, but at the same time, I believe in maintaining the kind of equilibrium for my team, sales, admin, and everything put together. Because if they are happy, you are going to be happy. So I think transparency is a way of working.
Thank you. And Liz, you have the last question.
Thank you very much, and I was just so inspired by both your presentations. I just love the idea of stories from the front line, and it's your stories that create change in the world, so thank you so very much. I suppose my question to you is, as strong female entrepreneurs who have encountered, so many obstacles as you've built your business, you've transformed male-dominated environments, how do you stay emotionally replenished? And what I'm saying to you is, being an entrepreneur, creating change, I suppose having a strong focus and position, which you can never, in a sense, waver from if you want to succeed, requires a lot of courage, it requires a lot of emotion. And how do you replenish that so that you stay sane in what is a chaotic world?
I need a deep breath. You've just nailed it. It is an ongoing process that happens each morning when I wake up. I wake up with a feeling, do I have a clutching feeling in my heart, or am I feeling very free? I am very passionate about whatever I do. Whether it is my women empowerment work, whether it is my own business, or whether it's a party that I'm having, or whether it's a dish that I'm cooking, or whether it's a dress that I'm designing. I work to perfection, and people who work with me have a tough time. I know that. But at the end of the day, they even acknowledge the fact that, yes, they have gone up in stature after having worked with me. So how I replenish myself is that you have to have that feeling within you that what you're doing is finally going to give you some kind of result, what you have envisaged, what you have dreamt about. And last but not the least, what I would like to say is, I believe in one thing what my father told me, and it's do your best and leave the rest. So I energize myself each day. At the end of the day, when I go to sleep, I just ask myself, have I done my best or no? There are times in the day that I'm sitting in my office, I'm working, and there are 10 mails going and, multitasking. We multitask all the time. We women do that all the time. And it escapes your attention, And then I feel, oh my God, what have I done? I haven't even completed this, I haven't completed that, I haven't completed this. But then I tell myself that I had 10 long hours of working. I think I have not walked on the phone, I have not chatted with anyone. So you re-energize yourself, you replenish yourself with your own thoughts, positive thoughts, no negative thoughts. If you're going to be negative about anything, no. You have to see the half glass full. You cannot see the half glass empty. And that's what energizes me.
I think that's great. I mean, there's an optimism there. And actually, I would say the one word, if I had to say, is purpose. There's a wonderful book, it's called The Purpose Economy. And that is the next iteration, I think, of capitalism, of social entrepreneurship, purpose. And the thing for me is that I know, first of all, I'm married to a clinical psychologist, and so I'm not sure if that helps or hurts, actually. But I have an incredibly supportive wife, and that makes a huge difference. And also, when it comes to purpose, I ask myself on good days, did I make a difference? And I'll tell you a story. A wonderful man who was the founder of an organization called GLSEN, the Gay, Lesbian, Straight Education Network. It's a wonderful network. It's an alliance, right? And I remember Kevin Jennings was telling a story. He was walking on the beach with his grandfather. And by the way, I don't know if this is true, but it's a good story. So he's walking on the beach, and the tide comes in, and then the tide goes out, and there are, as far as the eye can see, starfish, lots of starfish. And the tide's going out, and he and his grandfather are walking down the beach. And as he's walking, Kevin keeps, picking up one of the starfish and throwing it back into the ocean. The tide's going out, and the starfish left, and they're walking. And his grandfather says, "Kid, look at this. This is not going to make a difference." And Kevin bends down and picks up another starfish and throws it back in the sea. And he said, "It made a difference to that one." And so when you think about what drives you, your purpose, if you can make life a little bit better for somebody in what you did, and again, I work in finance, and so it's, it's a little trickier to make that connection. Not for me, but purpose and making a difference, that rejuvenates me. So it's very personal.
Thank you again, Archana and Erika. Thank you very much.